Commander to the research labs.
Impressive, isn't it? Capable of generating immense power, yet completely harmless to human life. If only the same could be said for the rest of the aliens' technology, Commander. Dr. Richard Tygan, Chief Science Officer. I am responsible for the entirety of our research here, as well as the procedure you so recently underwent. Welcome to my lab, such as it is. I'm not sure what Central may have told you, but we found something while removing you from the alien stasis suit. A device implanted directly in your occipital lobe. Had I access to the equipment available to me during my tenure at Advent, I would already know the precise nature of its function. However, given time and your approval, of course, Commander, I assure you, I will find out. Which brings to light an additional point. Though aspects of this facility are indeed impressive, I am but one man. Were you to direct additional support personnel and resources to me, I could substantially improve the speed of all our research. Farewell, Commander.
New research. We could decrypt the data pad for intel, start working on experimental weapons, research alien biotech. I think this is actually the story progression one. Let's see, hybrid materials and modular weapons. Let's go for the... Let's go for modular weapons. More damage means less deaths for us.
I do find that area of research to be among the more intriguing options available. We'll begin work immediately. I'll send word when a complete report is available.
I forgot to actually read the thing.
Commander, we've already dedicated considerable resources toward the current research project. However, we can move on to something else if you prefer. I'll ensure that this new project takes highest priority, Commander. Once we have something to report, I'll notify you immediately.
Modular weapons. The magnetic rifles used by Advent's forces are incredibly complex weapons. The rifles themselves self-destruct when their original operator dies, but with a little effort, we might be able to use any recovered parts to improve our soldiers' own weapons.
I can see why you would consider redirecting our efforts, Commander. We'll get to work on the new project right away.
And I'm wanted at engineering.
Commander to engineering.
Okay, reworked your repulsors with some of the parts I salvaged from their old engine. Should fix that stabilization problem you had. Come on, Rover. It'll work. Commander! Getting our tech to talk to theirs is harder than you'd think. Lily Shen, Chief Engineer, at your service. You were probably expecting to see my father. In all that's happened, I'm guessing Central didn't tell you yet. He's gone. Dad gave everything he had to get us this far. This entire ship is his life's work. I know he would have loved to show you around the place himself. He used to talk about you a lot. You can be sure I'm ready to finish what he started. Might not look it, but from here, I can fabricate pretty much anything you come up with. And with a little more help, well, you'd be amazed with what I can do. It was an honor to finally meet you, Commander.
Yeah, Shen's dad worked with the commander in the previous XCOM game. He was also the engineer. Fitting. No engineers. View inventory. Yep, this is our stuff that we have. We collected corpses, data pads, loot, 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 and loot.
There's room for us to expand our facilities on board the Avenger, Commander, but we'll need more engineers to clear out space for construction first.
Now we can build stuff here if we wanted to, or we could also spend time clearing some debris. We'll do that later.
You'd be surprised how big of a difference some of these things can make in combat, Commander. With a few supplies, I can manufacture anything we need in no time.
Medikit, flashbangs, and smoke grenades. These are all useful utility items. To a degree.
Tygan seems to have a habit of scratching that scar on the back of his head. I wonder if anyone made sure his chip was actually removed.
Let's see. Well, we do need to clear adjacent rooms.
Commander, I'm going to need more help on the engineering team
We
before I
need more
can start
engineers.
clearing out some of these other rooms. We should recruit an engineer.
Yes, we should.
Commander, good to see you on your feet again. Welcome to the bridge, the nerve center of our operation. The aliens have our entire world in their grip. Advent controls everything. Government, communications, industry. Not to mention the military. And it's on us to take it all back. Resources and time are tight, Commander. It'll be up to you to decide how to best use both. The ship is yours.
Commander, we're attempting contact with a local resistance faction known as the Reapers. These people like to keep a very low profile, so it may take some time before we hear back. While we're waiting, it might be worthwhile to scan the area for additional supplies and resources. You never know what we may find out there.
Commander, one of our resistance contacts just tipped us off to a site that may be worth investigating.
Stadium supplies. We're starting in South Africa. Yep, we got this whole world to ourselves. And the aliens. There's a different thing coming up, but we'll get to that later.
For most of our soldiers, the living quarters on board the Avenger are a step up from the conditions they've had to live with on the ground.
We have all these soldiers and the random soldiers that also we have.
We've done what we can to honor our fallen soldiers, Commander. It's not much, but it gives our people a chance to pay their respects.
For those of you who were tuned in last time, unfortunately I got a call from my buddy Stanford, and he wasn't all that happy about me talking about him on the radio here, so we're not gonna do that anymore, I guess. So no hard feelings, all right, pal? Buy you a new sweater or something, make it up to you. In the meantime, you just keep killing aliens, or at least talking about killing aliens.
You know, I probably wouldn't be alive today if it weren't for your father. He was, something of a miracle worker.
Getting the Avengers' power back online was a miracle. I'm not entirely sure how he deciphered their system, but we'd still be half buried in the sand if he hadn't. He gave everything he had to get the ship running. But he didn't live long enough to see her fly.
We owe you both a debt of gratitude.
You can honor his memory by using this ship to destroy the aliens wherever we find them.
You'll get no argument here.
Alright, what do we got? Objectives. We got no objectives for now. Avenger report. Soldiers available 10, wounded 2, unavailable 0.
Hello, Commander. Work is well underway, but it will be some time yet before my research is complete.
We're gonna need more
Advent
scientists.
has made steady progress in convincing the remaining civilian populace to migrate to their city centers, with the propaganda campaign providing a constant stream of reminders as to the benefits of migration. They have maintained a steady influx of new converts. Unfortunately, most of these unwitting refugees have little idea what they are truly signing up for.
XCOM archives. Accessing database. Historical records. Propaganda assessment. The following directives have been identified by Resistance analysts based on a thorough review of Advent's ongoing propaganda effort. The alien's key area of focus is inserting shortcut and giving you a static field animation to cover up leak issues. Yes. I think another explanation is that we're very underfunded rebels. I think it fits, the staticky face animations. I agree. Following directives have identified resistance. The alien's key area of focus is directed toward the civilian populace recruitment of an increasing number of civilians into the city centers, nurturing an atmosphere of distrust to encourage self-reporting among city center inhabitants, encouragement of the belief that so-called dissident groups are to blame for perceived faults, disassociation of traditional beliefs and value system in favor of adulation for the elders. This seems rather familiar, a little too familiar. The Advent Network Tower. The Advent Network Tower is the central hub of the alien psionic network and their worldwide communication system. Although the tower itself is a readily identifiable fixture to those people living in city centers, its overall function and the extent of its capabilities are still generally unknown. It is widely believed that the Advent peacekeeping forces are coordinated from somewhere within the tower. Advent Public Historical Record. In July of 2015, the coalition government formerly known as Advent was first proposed by a small group of human politicians who stepped forth intent on negotiating with the elders. Despite the open hostility initially directed towards these peaceful alien visitors, they were receptive to the possibility of coexistence, despite their effective conquest of Earth's combined militaries. The elders allowed for the Pact of Unification establishing Advent's governance. In the 20 years since, Advent has effectively severed humanity and created an environment of peace and prosperity. Served, not severed. XCOM Project Historical Record. There we go. This is our history. This is the history of the XCOM. Initially conceived as a means to defend against unforeseen threats to the Earth as a whole, the XCOM project was first outlined during secretive planning sessions conducted throughout the year 1993. Although these early discussions were only meant to establish the theoretical principles of defense against an unknown enemy, all agreed upon preparations were carried out by the participating Council nations immediately. For more than 2 decades, the project remained dormant, with limited personnel records maintained by an agreed-upon representative of the Council. In February of 2015, long-distance scans indicated the number of large unidentified objects on a slow approach towards Earth. As agreed upon, the XCOM project was activated on February 10th, with key personnel assignments filled by the latest active candidates on file. In less than 2 months' time, open hostility between aliens and Earth forces ravaged much of the planet's developed world, leaving the survivors desperate and alone. Memorial. Limited space has been allowed for use as a memorial to XCOM's fallen soldiers within the Avengers Bard facility. Soldier customization. Nearly every soldier can be customized. Okay, so everything aside from that is just little tidbit, little tips. Facility data, got nothing. Personnel dossier. That's a very long. It's going to take me a while to read through that. Here's an interesting one though. Preceding Chief Scientist, Dr. Moira Valen. She was the scientist of the previous game. XCOM Enemy Unknown. Birth date unknown. Dr. Moira Valen, Chief... Oh no. Wrong click. There you go. Chief Scientist serving XCOM at the onset of invasion in March of 2015. Very little information about Dr. Valen still exists following the destruction of XCOM's original headquarters. Central Officer Bradford is now the only living member of the staff to have personal contact with her, and he generally remains aloof when pressed for further information. Notes and various remnants of data from the original XCOM database indicate an aggressive pursuit of alien material sought for study by Dr. Valen, with limited concern for the potential outcomes of these new theoretical research fields. Dr. Valen's status following the destruction of XCOM HQ is unknown. No further contact has been established. Yeah, in the previous game, she was very eager to research alien tech She also got mad at us every time we blew up an alien artifact. Preceding Chief Engineer Dr. Raymond Shen, the current Chief Engineer Lily Shen's father. Born in 1954, location unknown. Limited personal records exist for the previous staff serving XCOM during the invasion. It is known that Dr. Raymond Shen served as Chief Engineer during the XCOM project's activation in 2015 at the first signs of alien activity on Earth. Although it is known that Shen and his daughter, current Chief Engineer Lily Shen, survived the invasion and were integral to the Avengers' recovery and rehabilitation, the exact details of his passing and personal life are closely held by those who knew him. Alright.
Research is proceeding as planned, Commander.
Right, let's go to the bridge.
Avenger plotting new course.
Commander, the Avengers' remote scanning capabilities will help us search the area for clues or other resources. It's going to take some time, though. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Let me just stay here and just get supplies.
We have made a number of new discoveries, Commander.
Ooh, assign new research. Research report, modular weapons, codename Tinker. We've had the troops digging through scrap piles and looting corpses, and at this point it's safe to assume they're on constant vigil for anything we could use to improve our gear. All the raw materials in the world won't mean much if I can't find a good use for them, but I think this modular weapon system is a good start. Having pushed our existing designs about as far as I thought possible, the integration of a few key alien components provided the much needed stability we've been looking for. With these modifications in place, we should be able to attach larger upgrades for even more firepower. The troops will like that. Shen. Weapon upgrades available. Commander, researching the Advent modular weapons had allowed us to reverse engineer their system for our own use. Any weapon upgrades found in the field can now be attached directly to our soldier weapons to provide tactical bonuses. Yay! Alright, what should we go for next? Magnetic weapons, they're gonna take too long. Experimental weapons? 10 days is decent, but nah. I don't think we need any intel right now. Yeah, let's go for hybrid materials. The Advent bodies we recovered so far are shielded by a fascinating combination of materials, some more common than others. By studying the underlying alien technology, our research could lead to vast improvements to our own equipment.
I agree. That is an important task, Commander.
Hello, Commander.
Yeah, we can't actually get anything else right now.
It's been slow going, but I've made headway interfacing our equipment with the alien technology still embedded throughout the ship. Most of the primary systems are now operating on some combination of our technology and theirs. My hope is to use the best of both worlds to come up with something new, something the aliens won't expect.
And this is our armory. We can view our soldiers, we can recruit more soldiers using our supplies. You can see the memorial of dead soldiers.
Has already seen a boost in their recruitment efforts after word of the commander's arrival got around. They've needed a leader just as much as we have, and now they'll be expecting us to hit the aliens where it hurts. Not that I'm worried. We've got plenty of people itching to take on Advent. Things are just starting to get interesting.
When you're tired or hungry or just need a treat, Advent Burger, the place for meat.
Oh yeah, I forgot XCOM does these like little posters after successful missions. I think it's cute. Alright, let's go back to gathering supplies.
Strategic resource located.
The crumbling sports arena was abandoned after years spent serving as a makeshift field hospital. The overgrown stadium is littered with crates and decaying equipment buried under the brush. Dr. Tygan was able to identify several items which retained their scientific value despite the conditions. 52 supplies. Rumor from the Resistance, intact structures. Commander, after our recent success, members of the Resistance in South Africa have brought us reports of activity that we may want to investigate.
Avenger plotting new course.